It says we're live now, man. Let me do our theme song because it's a jam.
Last WWE night. We drop pipe bombs, not polite. Campaign, not scare wrestling, just pure insight. From Dynamite, Kid and Bigelow's bite. Last WWE night. We slam hot takes on the spotlight. Wrestling real or dead cage fight. It's Chris and Keenan every damn night. Whether it's Raw, SmackDown.
I probably should put your name as the British Bulldog just because it'll probably get more views like that, dude. I thought about that after. I was like, nobody searches the Dynamite Kid anymore. Like, we're probably the only two old guys that know the Dynamite Kid.
Yeah, but what a legend, though.
Oh, dude, he is like the biggest. I mean, the fact that you could take. I mean, I couldn't take a sock full of quarters to the face and keep moving after that.
Nah, me neither.
No.
Well, don't know. Let's try it.
Well, how you doing this week?
I'm good, mate. I've been on my travels. I got back yesterday, so today I spent most of my time trying to navigate the world of TikTok.
Ah, dude, TikTok's no fun, dude. You're not gonna get it straight. There we go. That's straight.
Mate,
Dude,
honestly.
TikTok is. Dude, that's the first place I ever found any type of success at all. But I've pretty much gotten off of TikTok. Thanks, Jack. Sorry, my son's in the background, everybody. So if you hear him, I apologize. He doesn't care about what I do, unfortunately. It doesn't make him any money, so why does he care? Well, he doesn't see anything. He's like, oh no, I just do whatever. And it's summertime, man. Summertime. Dude, it's what do you think? What do you think has gone on the last week in the wrestling world of WWE?
Mate, where do we even start? Like, I for me, the shocker of the week was JC Jane defeating Stephanie Vaquer for the women's NXT title, and Ethan Page defeating Ricky Saints for the North American. Like, who saw that coming?
All in NXT though. All in NXT. Like nothing going. Like WWE is just like you don't even talk about like, oh, Cody Rhodes came back or something like that's not even the big news. The big news is what happened in NXT. NXT, Shawn Michaels, they've been doing a great job of what's going on, man. And the people that are coming, I'm happy for who's coming. I'm not happy with. I liked the new short Mexican. What is it? I'm gonna mess up her name. Yeah, her and her homie just got pulled up.
Julia and Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, Roxanne Perez. I don't like what they're like. Why are they at? Why is she being added? Oh, she's not a member of the Judgment Day. Oh. Sorry, see? This is what happens during the week when we have things that happen. Oh, that was the timer to remind me to get on this live. That was that timer to remind me, hey. Because I have to ask here, hey, what time is it in England right now? Set a timer for 2 hours. And that's how we get this done. That's how we get it done. But again, I think they're wasting some things right there. I mean, what is she doing coming to the and then like Liv Morgan's like, I don't know, so like such high school drama BS. Like I don't want more high school drama BS.
Well, when did Liv Morgan become the leader of the Judgment Day?
Well, she's the sexiest, and it's like she's the new mommy, so that's how she became it. Like it's like I don't know if you ever saw that movie Grease back in the day. If you have sex with the leader of like the other gang, then all of a sudden you become the leader of like the male or female version of that gang. So
it's monarchy, isn't it?
Yeah, because Dom was having sex with mommy, and then that made him the halfway leader. Then they left, and so now he's the leader, and whoever he's with becomes, and poor Finn Balor's like sitting there like, hey, bitch, what about me? Poor guy, he's been slugging it out for years, man, and he's just like somebody like he's gonna get kicked out of the Judgment Day. It's actually like the Judgment Day is gonna be switched babyface and somehow and all that. I don't know how that's gonna work, man. How do you think that's gonna work? Because Dominic's definitely going babyface.
Dom, yeah, I agree with you, man. Like Dom's babyface, he's gonna be at some point. What I did like, though, was the interactions of Finn Balor, Roxanne, and Liv. So when they were in the clubhouse, Finn was just sat back, and it was Liv having to go to Roxanne, and he sat there grinning his arse off. And you could see Dom getting uncomfortable, and it's almost like Finn's trying to find a way of getting Dom out by making it look like Roxanne is now muscling in on Liv's man. Because if we remember rightly, the week before, Finn brought Roxanne Perez into the clubhouse, not Dom. Right? And I've got to be honest, I'm sick and tired of these chicken nuggets as well. Like, I know it's a thing for him, but my God, it's so childish.
It's chicken tendies, bro. It's the chicken tenders. It's not even the nuggets. It's the tenders. Like it might be chicken altogether for the man. I'm not. I'm not a huge. I don't know what it is.
What's
Either.
the difference? What is the difference?
The difference is the size of like chicken tenders or the chicken breast sliced and like. And I'm an ex-chef, bro. So I actually I'll get serious with this shit with you. So, I'm like, oh, well, that's what the breast is sliced in the straight down the middle, straight down, and the nuggets where they're like sliced into like little combative things. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, they're all right. What up, Tim? What up, Nine Lights? We can't say hi to y'all. We're in the middle of our wrestling podcast. So we're in Canada and England right now. That's how far we're stretching.
We're way across the pond.
I don't think she understands the Hart family. She probably knows nothing about the Hart family and the actual Dynamite Kid British Bulldog. Did the Dynamite Kid have Hart? He was in the. He came out of the. He had Hart family ties too, didn't he?
So he was the cousin of the British Bulldog.
And so that's how, but I'm saying, like, was he trained by Stu Hart in some way?
Yeah. So when they went to Japan, him and Davey Boy went straight back to the dungeon in Canada. They trained under Stu. They wrestled with Owen, Bruce, Anvil, all those guys, Pillman. And then it was then they moved from Manchester over to Canada to Calgary. That's when they got signed by Stampede. And then from Stampede, on to WWF at that point.
I love how the sisters married wrestlers too.
Well, it's a common thing. I mean, you look at the bloodline, the guys there, like you've got third cousins who are like, Tongan Kid, Tongaloa, guys like that. And then you've got like the brothers of obviously Usos, Solo, cousins of, Jacob Fatu. You got Zilla still there. You got Hikaleu still there. Like,
and all of a sudden, you got JC Jacob Cobb out of like nowhere. Was it Jay Cobb, like the whitest name? Like, why didn't they, like, we talked about that the week before, and they changed it, like, the next week. Like, the next week was like, oh, brother JC is like, dude, he was just like Cobb the week before, guys. Like, I don't remember what his name was.
Well, that was the thing. Michael Cobb was like, that's Jeff Cobb, one of the biggest free agents, all that same spiel shit, right? Yeah. But then, like you just said there, Keenan, like the following week, he's JC Mateo. Like, why? Just have him as JC. That we know it stands for Jeff Cobb. That's easy. But what it's got Matthews to do with it.
And it all has to do. Sometimes it has to do with like trademarks and logos, and they want to own their name and stuff. And that's
I get that.
I completely understand that. I wouldn't, but I mean, hasn't worked out bad for John Cena or The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Like, just let them own your name. Jeez.
It doesn't always work like that, does it? I mean, people like Indy Hartwell were quite lucky to have their name. Obviously, Pete Dunne's got it. Tyler Bate has got their name. There's quite a few of them that do have their original names. It's whether WWE have the ownership to those names or not. Because the problem you've got is if you're with the company, they will try and own your name, your gimmick, your whatever. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. It's not their real name, but it's their wrestling name that got them noticed. It's got them over, got them to the dance. But when they go back on the indies and they're not their original name, that's when it becomes an issue. Like, we know that Walter is now Gunther. Walter, Big Walter didn't want to sign his name over. He was like, look, come up with something different. Now, Gunther is quite an Austrian first name. He's Austrian. He's not German. So he's gone with that. But it's one of those where WWE try to reserve the rights over the wrestler. And if the wrestler doesn't want it, then they're more than
Well, I think it also depends on because Gunther is definitely a visible known commodity now. It's not just by someone like Pete Dunne is known by his name. Like Pete Dunne's going to use that name if and when he gets out of the WWE to wrestle on the Indies, AEW, whatever. I said Wendy's, that's something. Indies, whatever.
Yeah.
He's going to use that name, and that's what's going to propel him forward, and that's why he wants to use his name and own his name. Gunther knows that if he has to leave WWE, he is known visibly as well. It doesn't matter what his name is. He can be whoever. He can because of what he looks like, because of what because of what the visual, almost like he looks like a wrestler. Pete Dunne doesn't necessarily look like a wrestler.
No, but then wrestling fans will know what he looks like. It's like Baron Corbin.
Wrestling fans, but I'm saying but he can't really use his looks to, it's like that Vince McMahon thing, like somebody like a way you notice a wrestler walking through the airport or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that a Pete Dunne is definitely going to want to own his name and use that name going forward, or share it in some way. Because that's what they're gonna be known with. That's how they're gonna be known going forward.
But the thing with Pete was he was Pete Dunne before WWE, and guys like Tyler Bate, that was what they were known as over here. So I don't think they're gonna have that problem. And I know that Pete has a really good relationship with Triple H, so I don't think that's going to be an issue of losing that name. The other part of this, though, Keenan, is that what they try to do is have rights to your name after you leave, which makes it harder for you because then on your posters it's formally known as. Now, yeah, we're wrestling fans, we know who they are. Like you can't tell us that Tensai wasn't Prince Albert, right? The hip hop hippo. We know it. We're not stupid. You can dress him up in a bathrobe and all that. We still know it's Albert. We're not stupid, which is why I don't understand the reasoning behind sometimes getting wrestlers back in under different names.
Well, it's just like the weird thing. Like, I mean, a guy like Braun Breaker, aka Steiner, like, why wouldn't you use his name? Like, and then they dress him in that neon unitard stuff, and like, okay, so he's not a Steiner. He's wearing what his uncle and dad wore. That like, it's the same thing.
That was his best gear as well.
Yeah, but now he's in. I was like, now I can see naming him Braun Breaker because he doesn't look like a Steiner. Then maybe that's what he should have been from the get go. I don't know.
He doesn't look like a Steiner, but he sounds like a Steiner.
He does sound like a Steiner. He sounds. Hopefully he's got good mic skills, and that's what's really needed in this world. That's what I'm interested to see because a lot of the people that they've got in this new Dangerous Alliance all kind of have mic skills. Braun Breaker is maybe a little bit better as a strong silent type, but he could speak a little bit.
See, do we think that I mean, everyone's calling it the Dangerous Alliance or Dangerous Alliance 2.0 or something like that.
They call it the Dangerous Coalition, like the last Raw or something like that.
Nah, it's the Dangerous Alliance. I know they're going to call it a coalition or whatever rubbish. I'm not interested. It's Dangerous Alliance, and we want Paulie dangerously. We don't want Paul Heyman. The weird part of the group is that Seth can talk. Now, don't get me wrong. I find him boring as hell on the mic. Like, unbelievable wrestler. I'm not going to discredit that. But on the mic, I am never interested, nor do I care. Braun Breaker on a different note, I think could be so much better than what he is. He's limited, and he's not the best on the mic unless he's on his own, right? And Bronson Reed, great wrestler, can't talk for shit.
No.
So why have we now got Paul Heyman within this group as a mouthpiece when we've technically got another good? Oh, you put Seth on the top, wouldn't you, of talkers?
Maybe they're trying to get Seth freaking Rollins to shut up a little bit. Maybe they just wanted to say. I mean, that was like the beginning of at least Americans actually saying. I love how we try to take y'all's chanting and singing stuff like we're just not good at that shit at all. We come to America, and it's like they said, like guys, y'all just are not like y'all taking this like it's like when you try to say soccer, it's like don't hurt yourself, my man. You can say football, I'll get it, I understand. And it's like when the people start cheering, it's like don't hurt yourself, Americans. We're not that into it. We want to be there, but then the fake, you're that into it. You're not that into it, my guys.
No. The one thing that annoys me is when I watch football matches in America, the chanting is horrific. It's almost like you're having too much fun. Whereas if you come to England to a proper ground, it's a lot different.
We're not used to it, and it's almost like doing the wave or something. You know what I mean? I don't think y'all don't do the wave, right?
No.
That's what I'm saying, but that's like second nature to baseball fans. Oh, the wave!
Oh, yeah. But that ties inside with baseball. You know, that the Mexican wave ties inside with baseball. It makes it interesting. But at a football match, not so much. And don't get me wrong, and there'll be people out there that'll go, well, hang on a minute. They do a Mexican wave at women's England games, right?
Yeah.
But that is it. I'm talking nothing more.
I would love to see some chanting coming to like a silent game like baseball. Like I would love to see some English chanting coming to a fucking silent American game. That'd be great.
Hey, I'll bring over the Leeds lads and we'll start chanting.
Yeah, then that'd be great. One of my favorite movies ever is the football fighting movie with Elijah Wood.
Green Street.
Dude, Green Street Hooligans. Yes, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Charlie Hunnam's in that. Charlie Hunnam. Do you remember Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah,
he's in that as well.
Yeah, he was in this TV show called Undeclared back in the day, where he was like in an American college or some shit, but he was like the pretty boy and shit. And then he Now I remember seeing him in the line. I was like, oh shit, it's him again. Let's check this out. I remember getting on video, dude. It was one of my favorite movies of all time. All time. Can't really find any more in America, man.
So if we switch that around to wrestling, then what's your favorite wrestling movie of all time?
My favorite movie is the one with Fatu and Roddy Piper. That's got me. And what's that one called? It's a terrible movie. It's Roddy Piper and one of the Tongans. It was the Tongans. It was the Tongan Kid and Roddy Piper and what's his name was in it. Shit, I have to what's his name? The pirate guy with the beard that had all the fucking different rubber bands in it and shit. You know what movie I'm talking about? I'm just gonna sound stupid talking about it. Bro.
You know about Welcome to Frogtown or They Live?
No, They Live. That's Roddy Piper's real. Like that's his real movie. That's his non-wrestling movie. Hold on. Hey Siri, what's the Roddy Piper movie with the Tonga Kid from back in the '80s? The wrestling movie.
Oh, if it comes up with the answer here.
What? Oh, bitch.
What's
the wrestling movie with Roddy Piper and the Tonga Kid from the '80s?
Here's Body Slam.
Body Slam.
There we go.
There we go. Dude, one of my favorite movies. I think we had that on VHS, dude. I remember
that's cool. All
the time, thinking like, how can I see these guys? I wanted to see the Tonga Kid and Roddy Piper really be a tag team. That'd be better. That'd be the best tag team of all time, I think.
Oh, mate, Roddy Piper was an absolute gem.
Oh, absolute gem. Even better, later, late in his life, doing his movie roles and doing his acting and Always Sunny. Dude, he played the wrestler in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he was just absolutely brilliant in that show. He's not giving a shit about it. Absolutely hilarious.
I miss Piper.
Yeah, Piper's one of the big losses of our time.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot of wrestlers, but Roddy Piper, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Of course, we did.
Bulldog.
Yeah, we lost Bobby like a few years before because of his disease. He wasn't really going out and showing himself too much. But
Yeah, man.
that guy was the gym. The British Bulldog was the gym, like you said. I mean, even people like the Dynamite Kid and shit. I mean, he wasn't a huge fan favorite outside of the ring, but he was like, if you could get him to talk and talk a little bit about him. That's why I appreciate that stupid show, Dark Side of the Ring, because I'm an old school. I like old school stories, whether it's all true, like perfect retelling of everything. Maybe not. I don't know, but I know that I like that documentary style old school wrestling vibe stuff.
Can I lay a story on you then from Piper?
Let a story. Let's hear it.
So back, I'm talking maybe 13, 14 years ago, Piper toured in the UK and he did like a stand-up show. It was when like wrestlers were starting to go into comedy, but it wasn't comedy. It was just telling stories.
Yeah.
And Piper was, we got some like backstage bits and stuff, and Piper was telling a story. And he was like, hey guys, do you want to know the first time how I got fired the first time? And the rolling joke was he's been fired multiple times, right? So we're all there going, yeah, what, like, how, like what? And he goes, imagine this. He goes, everyone's in catering. He goes, I'm literally ready to go. I'm in gear, knee pads, boots, jacket, I'm ready. And I'm walking through catering. I'm ready to go and speak to, I think it was Coco B, where was supposed to be wrestling. He goes, and I look to my right, and Vince McMahon is sat on one of the catering tables with all these like big top TV executives. Nice. And he was like, and at the time, me and Vince were kind of like, we were okay, but like if I said the wrong thing, he didn't like it. And, he was quite embarrassed by how I said things about certain things. And he was like, but I was in the mood that day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but I was still like kind of happy to be there. And he said, so I'm walking through, and Vince goes, hey, Piper, what's under your kilt? And Piper turns around and he was like, I didn't even hesitate. He goes, your wife's lipstick.
Oh.
And he got to Gorilla, and Pritchard was like, you're not going on. You're getting fired. So you have to go back and get your bags. And he had to shamefully walk back through catering past Vince to get his bags and go.
Right, that's crazy. And he still, sheesh. Vince McMahon was that kind of guy. Like on one day he'd find that funny, but on another day he'd find that completely the worst thing, especially with TV execs around him.
Yeah. There's loads of stories, loads of them.
Piper and around like Piper like doing that stand-up show, it wasn't that he was doing technical stand-up comedy. He was just a funny ass storyteller. He couldn't help but be funny telling stories.
He was great. I mean, the thing was they played Welcome to Frogtown before he came on. And his opening line was, I'm sorry you had to watch that shit. It was horrible. You sit back and you're like, if he can laugh at it, it's almost like The Rock doing Doom. If you can sit back and make fun of something, then so be it, man.
Right, and that's what brought him there, doing those dumbass movies. Like I saw something.
Yeah.
I saw something that was like talking about The Rock and bad movie choices in the beginning, that he was putting him in bad movies, so he started doing them like he getting second rate parts, but they're always like the friend of the friend. He was never like the guy. In fact, and that was just how he could get different parts besides being like the guy in Doom. Or like, but I mean, Doom was a pretty decent movie, even though it was like bad. But I mean, it still made some money. Like nerds wanted to see it in America.
Yeah, I mean, Doom was a massive video game over here in the UK. Like it was one of the biggest PC selling games. I don't think the movie did it the justice that it deserved.
It definitely did. It definitely did not. I would have rather seen like that one scene where it was all first person. I would have rather the entire movie been that.
Yeah.
Like that's Doom right there. Like just seeing, we don't even need, but no actor would ever want to not show their face in front of the screen.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't really like get superhero movies done with like the full face covering or something, because every actor will show their face.
And now we can't even get rid of The Rock. So
no, there's no getting rid of him. And luckily, he seems to be gotten rid of a little bit in wrestling. Like, I don't know. Speaking of which, I wanted to, like I said, I sent you this thing of how I'd like to book, how I would have rather booked Cena this go around, because I just don't like this winner and let me hold the thing behind my head and walking through. Like it just all seems like I feel like it would have been better served. We would have lost Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. Then he would have been pissed. Then he just could have started beating. Then you'd have reasons for fighting somebody like R-Truth. That match, I like R-Truth. It was good to see it. Yeah, nostalgia, but it was pointless. It was a pointless match.
It was. I mean, the only storyline they had going with it was Truth's boyhood hero. Let's just get one thing straight. Truth is older than John Cena.
Yeah. And God, like, I mean, the running thing, and believe me, the running thing is that black doesn't crack. What the fuck happened to R-Truth?
I know, he's 51 years old.
How old is R-Truth?
But the thing is, though, like, Truth is known to be a comedic wrestler. He has his moments. He's had loads. His whole, stuff is, can I crack somebody on screen? Can I get someone to break character? Which I would say 99% of the time he does. Kind of like Santino Marella back in the day when he mispronounced the names, the way his mannerisms, great, love it. You're right. The match on Saturday Night Main Event was absolutely pointless. I actually thought Saturday Night Main Event was a bag of shit. The only reason being it was live on YouTube. We had 40 odd minutes plus of adverts. Right? Over here in the UK, we saw very little of any match to the point where there was adverts and then it would be the go home.
See, and that's no way to keep people involved.
Just get it on Netflix.
Mine was on Peacock, and I luckily, if I watch it, I don't need to watch it live. I'm not live streaming or anything. I'm not on Twitter or X or whatever, seeing somebody else talking about the matches or something like that. So I could watch it after all the commercials and everything's over. So I can just skip over all that BS. Just go. So it's really like a 2-hour show. And without commercials and stuff, maybe less than that.
Yeah, I mean, when we've got Netflix, we get like the odd commercial on Raw. On SmackDown, not as much. And then on NXT, there's barely any adverts. But then with the PLEs and stuff like that, there's the odd one now and again. But with this Saturday Night Main Event, it was literally. There'd be like a minute of wrestling and then 4 minutes of adverts. Or there'd be another commercial break. And it's like, you could never get the story of the match because you just couldn't follow it.
You were only getting it on YouTube this time?
Yeah.
Because in YouTube, and you were getting adverts like specified to like England and stuff?
Yeah. So it went live on YouTube at, I believe, 7 o'clock. Maybe. But like the tag match we saw, I want to say the tag match was on for like 14 minutes, and we got 9.5 minutes of commercials.
Well, and see, and YouTube has the ability to specify commercials for your region. And once Netflix figures that out, once PLEs figure that out, you're going to start getting a lot more commercials, my man.
I think the problem that they had was a lot of British viewers wanted to watch Main Event because some of the matches looked pretty good, but it was a common theme over the entire like wrestling fan side of the UK that we couldn't watch it.
Yeah,
like I was doing a live stream to it, and I kept saying, "Sorry guys, there's a commercial," or "Right, okay, we've gone to commercial," and it's like you lose viewers, and people are like, "Oh my god, not again, not again." Yeah. And it got to the point where I was like, "Right, it's just going to be a Russian roulette of right." When's the next commercial?
And that's what they do. Once it's only going to get worse, especially once they figure out how to get advertisements to like specify advertisements to your region. It's going to get even worse.
I'm hoping we don't get it on Netflix.
Hopefully they do, because right now that's why I watch. Like you watch everything live because you live stream it. Yeah. I watch everything after it's already like I didn't watch Raw until like maybe Tuesday afternoon of this week.
Okay.
Just because I was doing stuff and I was like, oh crap, I need to watch Raw. Like I keep forgetting to watch Raw. Like while you sit down and watch Raw.
Do you know what? So back in the day, like when I started doing like different things with wrestling, I didn't have enough time to watch the full 3 hours, and there were YouTube like highlight packages for like 25 minutes, and it just told me everything I needed to know about every storyline, about every match, the outcomes, what the lead for the next kind of like program is going to be. And I was like, I mean, when everyone like say, "Oh, what do you watch?" And I was like, "Mate, I just watch the highlight package because it cuts out all the rest of the shit that we don't need."
Exactly.
And it saves me, in theory, 2 hours 40 minutes.
Yep. And now they do like a raw recap with Sam Roberts and his co-host. They do all kinds of recap shows and everything to where you go. I mean, I don't watch the recap shows because I don't want to really take what they do. Like, I don't want to, like, on here with you, I don't want to, even though I am a coordinate disciple, but I don't want to spout back only stuff that I've heard on other people's podcasts.
Yeah, and the other thing about the recaps is it's their opinions on the show, whereas you're not getting, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. You're getting, some female and him, and it's like.
Which Pat McAfee is decent and everything, but Michael Cole's really the star. And I like the one thing about Saturday Night's main event was Jesse Ventura giving Pat McAfee
shit. Yeah.
And then he was giving him grief about like, oh, you think you can do this too? Like, and then Michael Cole was in the back room like, I was on WrestleMania, right? Like I have like. Poor Michael Cole was just forgotten that shit altogether. Like
he was just kind of sat in the middle of it, wasn't he?
Ventura was like, oh, it doesn't. You don't really matter. Like you being on WrestleMania doesn't matter to me, Michael Cole. This guy was in sports. Like this is what matters over here. You don't matter.
Did you find it awkward?
Yeah. It's like having your grandfather like. Having everybody listen to your grandfather talk. Like, your grandfather's going to say some stuff that people don't really agree with today. Like, my grandfather, like, I remember my mom, like, said something, like, one time I was like, oh, my God, that's a little bit racist. I didn't know. She's like, yeah, he said that one. And I was like, I'm glad I never heard. But it's like if everyone heard what your grandfather said. That's like Jesse Ventura's all like, I'm glad there's not, like, they don't put him on women's wrestling because he would be like, this is quick. It'd be like me and you calling women's wrestling, like some of it. Like, oh man, women, this sucks. Like,
oh man, listen. Tonight's three-way with Naomi, Nia Jackson, Jade Cargill can only be the worst thing that's ever been booked this year.
Dude, and Naomi is just the worst. And like I said, I think. She might be the worst wrestler I've seen in a long time. And I've noticed as I get older, you notice things like what the other day, but I noticed like in a women's match to do the trick off the top rope. I think it was in the three-way. It was in the Money in the Bank three-way, I think. But to do the move off the top rope, the other girl that you're flipping had to grab your legs. Yeah. What would that happen in a fight? Like, person that you're fighting grab your legs so they don't get hurt as well. Why wouldn't they just push you off the top? Like, nah, beesh. Like, I get it. Like, as we get older, they need to do more crazier things, this, that, and the other. But again, there's something to be said about two people just fighting, I guess. I don't know, at least to me.
I mean, the whole idea of wrestling is it's a simulation of a fight, right?
Yeah.
But there are parts of the match where you go, you wouldn't do that in a fight. Things like, and I notice this quite a bit at the moment, is where if a wrestler is coming off the top rope, that wrestler ready to take the spot is just stood there watching.
Yeah.
Right?
And it hurts the wrestler coming off the top rope more than it hurts the person that if I'm doing a move to you, it should not hurt me more to do this.
Correct. Just do a Samoa Joe and walk away.
Right. When Sami Zayn does that little flip off the top rope where he like kind of bounces and flips and like his butt. I've never seen somebody in more pain in my life. I'm like, why do that, Sammy?
Yeah, RVD.
Why, as a wrestler, would you not like tell yourself like, hey, listen for this person to stomp over there, or all the crowd to yell? That's when he's going to come bring that big ass foot to your face.
It's just timing. That's all it is.
Yeah, why couldn't they just do that? Well, I mean, why couldn't they just go to the side and run out? Like, it's about catching people. But they've been where it's like calling you out. It's your like Finn Balor did that thing where he like points at the side like, I'm gonna get you. Dude, just get them. Why are you warning them first? If you warn me in the fight, I'm gonna punch you in your face.
Yeah, but if you look at it on that line of things, then Penta does it all the time.
And that's it. Like, and I mean, I like Penta. I like, but it's again, like it's taking too that it all just takes too long to get stuff done. Like you said, you're simulating a fight. Like when you can have high flyers, you can get stuff done. But I mean, it's just like the 619. Everybody does that 619, and the way a person has to follow that rope is just it doesn't happen that often.
Okay, so on that then, thoughts on Selena Vega?
Kind of the same, man. It's just everything she does. It's like how, like I see people like when they fall over, they miss their spot, and they got to crawl to the right spot to where they can hit their stuff.
Yeah,
and that's not the way wrestling is. Like it's a mutual dance. It's an actor. It's whatever, but it's supposed to fool the eye. You know, and I get it. Like Cena, and what Cena's not the only one that's calling stuff out so loud that everyone can hear it. I mean, everyone gives him grief for talking loud, but he's not the only one.
There's a lot of them.
Oh,
There's a lot of them.
And it's because the moves are so. Excuse me, I'm burping.
No, what you're saying is the move or the spots are too complex to be able to just call one word.
Right. Instead of just saying, instead of, you being able to say, suplex, three amigos, whatever you're doing, like, just do that. And I mean, like, the fact that these women could do this thing with their asses half hanging out, like, like, there's times where I see them, like, that is, like, she's wearing a thong, a thong. Why would
Rhea Ripley was technically wearing one on Raw, wasn't she?
Oh, dude, and the way that she pins those ladies, I'm like, this is going in the fantasy file for later. Like,
it's a bit risque, as we say over in the UK.
Oh, she's bent over her fucking, like, the woman's, like, nine is in her own face, and Rhea Ripley's right there. I'm like, I think I've dreamed this in a dream one time. I'm not for sure. Down, I was like, holy shit. And, like, don't get, like, I like big women too, dude. Don't get me wrong, but they just want to make every big woman look like as big as possible.
Yeah,
like,
they do.
Nia Jax, they want to put her in stuff where like it's open, like in her belly, but then there's something covering her belly somehow. Like, how does that work? Where it's open, but then there's something covering the belly, but then like her tights are like the whitest ass tights you've ever seen in your life.
It's all down to what WWE see their character as. You know, there'll be a case of like, I'm trying to think of it like
Piper Evans gets it too. They do the same thing to her. They make her look big as hell.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, with regards to like Piper and Nia Jax, they are probably the two largest ladies on the roster, apart from maybe Nikita Lyons, who's a big girl. I don't recall many others, but if you look at the big girls, they like to accentuate the curves. They like to make you think, whoa, that's a real lady. Whereas in the small petite ones, you see less clothing and more cleavage. And you kind of like, oh yeah, go on, then I'm kind of into that. And then you get like Charlotte Flair, who just looks like a bloke.
Right, and that happens to her with her terrible plastic surgery that she gets. Like, I don't
Why is she doing it though?
Because she's got the Joan Rivers thing. Like, it's something in her head. Like, it's nothing against her. It's in her. Something like makes her feel not pretty in her head, and that's a personal issue that she people can't find. They keep doing that plastic. So number one, they get addicted to the plastic surgery, and then they get addicted to trying to look better, even though she was a beautiful woman. But in her eyes, she probably always saw the main glare pieces of her body or something, you know?
Maybe. Who knows?
And that's a personal thing that she's gonna have to deal with her after, that's nothing for me or you to talk about, unfortunately. It's just, I wish like, her just walking in, she should have done the John Cena thing where, like, oh, I lost Royal Rumble and all right, what's best for business is Charlotte Flair's back in this bitch. Like, she came back, she just won it for no reason, and everybody liked it the first night, and everybody hated it the next day.
Yeah. So here's one for you then, Keenan, and I'm not sure if you spotted this, but have you seen the card for Worlds Collide?
No, I have not seen the card yet. I know what Chad Gable's going to be on it, and I've heard the Mexican wrestler. I don't know them all by name, but I've heard.
Okay. So WWE released some of the match cards for Worlds Collide, and one of the main matches is Vikingo versus Chad Gable, right? Yeah. On the match card, stupidly, WWE put the AAA Mega Championship, right? Which means in the next week or so, Del Rio drops the title to Vikingo, and that means that Del Rio is now not on Worlds Collide. Little things like that, how can you mess up?
Right.
Like that. This is their premiere show with AAA after the acquisition, but to get something that big wrong, someone has got to be kind of responsible for it.
Right. Who do you think's responsible for that?
Whoever does the graphics, who's ever in charge of match graphics and the CGI stuff, I don't know. But what annoyed me was the fact that they put it on there and they didn't even take it down. It's still on the website, even though fans have noticed it for the past week. And it's almost like a shame that we haven't got El Grande Americano. Although I reckon that Chad Gable might be injured and Americano takes his place.
Right.
I'm hoping.
El Grande Americano.
He is over like Rover, mate. He is over like Rover.
And what's crazy is like,
Daddy?
What's up, buddy?
Can I have some chips, please?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he is over unbelievably. And what's crazy is how not over Chad Gable still is.
Yeah.
Like the whole American-made Chad Gable infrastructure is just so not over. Like he's got to be wondering, like, do I just go with this Grande Americano from now on and stay?
You saw it on Raw, didn't you? Because they had the Creeds come out with Ivy Nile, and they got booed out. They got booed out of the building, and then Grande Americano turned up, and there was a pop.
And that's gotta eat everybody up inside. I mean, Otis and they're getting a better pop than American made and Ivy Nile and that. And it might be because he's such a whiny dick the entire time. Like he's literally like I don't know what they're saying. It's like they decided let's make a crappier Kurt Angle or something. I'm not for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't it fun?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch it, like kind of like see what they do with it next. Because I mean, what happened to everyone that kind of like I mean, poor Shelton Benjamin and everybody that was on Kurt Angle's little team back in the day. They kind of gotten screwed over. And now WWE.
It was a little different though, wasn't it? Because Team Angle was like, genuine like American athletes. Like I'm not saying anything about the Creeds.
Yeah.
Like, Shelton was the NCAA champion. Charlie Haas was former footballer, turned wrestler. Like they had that pedigree of being a group, whereas in like American Made are kind of thrown together. Like for me, and I don't know about you, Keenan, but I would have never associated Ivy Nile with Chad Gable.
No, not at all. In fact, they're the same height. It seems like I would associate her probably beating him up. I mean, she looks tougher than Chad Gable, to be honest.
Yeah, she does. Her voice is a little weird as well.
Yeah. I give you that. So I'm excited. I mean, tonight's SmackDown. I don't know how long we have until the next PLE. The PLE, we had to wait so long for that WrestleMania now, it seems like PLEs and everything just dropping so fast and so quickly. We don't
Next
even.
week, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like it drops like it seems like it's every week something popping up. Which,
Do you think it's too much?
yeah, I mean, but I'm like, again, I don't know, like if it's not made for me and you, probably. You know what I mean? Like I do think it's too much. I think, I think time and distance is what made wrestling great. The fact that you didn't know that much about these stars, now we're getting so much and so much. Like I get it, kayfabe is dead, but like they're just showing us everything. It's like all cards are shown on the table. Like, okay, I don't know. I mean, I don't like whatever's going on right now. I'm not as into it as I was last year with with Cody Rhodes. Like I know finishing the story and everything, but he kept me still involved. Like, but I don't like this John Cena thing. I would have rather like people would have shown up for John Cena, the John Cena tour, no matter what. I don't think we needed this fake wannabe heel turn. Like, okay, what? Now you're mad at like they're doing the same thing they've been doing this entire time.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I agree with you. I think the problem with there's this Netflix documentary that's coming out as well about them going behind the scenes of how things are booked and stuff. Like, I would have rather not seen that. Like, as a wrestler, I know it goes on, but as a fan, do you want to see the meetings that go on behind and see the structure of a program? Do you want to see that?
Not present day. I don't want to see anything about what's going on today. I love seeing that stuff about the 80s, the 90s, all that classic documentary stuff. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'd love to see that. I'd love to get more backstage information like that documentary that just came out about the first
WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, that was great. I love that. I loved how the wrestler was like, "What are we doing here? What's going on? Why are we doing this?" I loved all that. But today it's just like a given. Like, all the reality shows. I remember my ex-wife and baby's mama watched the WWE women's reality stuff, but she never, like, she would watch the Bella's reality show, but she never watched them on wrestling at all.
My wife does the same.
You watch reality stuff, but you don't ever watch the wrestling stuff, because the reality stuff was like a year behind of the wrestling stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that. I watched that WrestleMania. I remember that. And she's like,
that's the thing. Do you always think there's like too many documentaries these days?
Too many present day documentaries. I don't need to know about the Miz and Mrs. I don't need to know. I don't want to know anything about the present day. I mean, I like the Bray Wyatt. He's gone. I like that documentary that they put out.
That was great.
But I don't want to see, things about today. It's kind of like that Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. All they do is talk about old shit. I don't want to talk about today stuff.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's really. I just find it really awkward for new fans to come in and be given everything instead of like learning the history, learning like who came before. Like there's a company that I used to work for in the UK, and we used to do like a who's who as a warm up, right? So the coach would hold up a picture of a wrestler, and if you didn't get it, you had to get down third press ups, right? And that will continue down the line, right? So if the first person got it wrong, it's third press ups. Second person got it wrong, it's 60, and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was always towards the end of it because I knew the wrestlers, obviously from growing up, from being young, and the amount of times that people got it wrong, I'm like, how do you not know who that person is? I used to infuriate me, but now everything's given to them on a silver plate. It's there. They're showing you the backstage stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love the documentaries like the Dark Side of the Ring. And the only reason why is because it's the old school stuff that we kind of heard about but was never confirmed. Like we heard about the worst plane ride in WWE history. Now, apparently, according to some wrestlers, That wasn't the worst. There was way worse. But it's what you can put on TV and what's going to get, new viewers in. But like, stuff about Bruiser Brody, the story of Eddie Guerrero, the story of Owen Hart. If you're kind of a wrestling historian to that point, you need to know about all the backstory from everything else. Whereas in today, we just switch on Netflix and go, we've got a new documentary. Oh, fucking hell. Right.
It's just history. It always repeats itself. So you learn about the past to, do the future. I mean, stuff that Bruiser Brody did, stuff that people that you brought up has done, has been brought back and used. Jim Cornette talks about, history all the time. Like, oh yeah, right. That was done. I told them to do the take your title back. It's your title. It's how many times it's been done. Blah blah blah. And that's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not many people like Jim Cornette still around, is there?
No, there's not, and we have to. And just like with regular historians, we have to cultivate the people that do know the history and that do know. That's why I don't want to hear documentaries and stuff about today. I feel like today is for people like me, you, Jim Cornette. We talk about stuff and we bat the stuff around today, but we don't need. We live in this fantasy world, and that's where wrestling lives in. And I think that's what it's like watching a movie. Tom Cruise really can't do a Mission Impossible. He's 4'5". So. I mean, like we live in that fantasy world, and so why can't we live in a fantasy world where this stuff happens sometimes? It's something like where J.D. McDonough flips his head and cracks his rib. That dangerous shit shouldn't happen. I don't need. Yeah, it's cool for a second, but why do you see somebody flip off the top rope into 5? Like you said, 5 people catching him. But like you said, you just see them. And they're all sitting there with their hands up. Why would you hold your hands? If you put your hands up, why wouldn't you just move out?
Exactly. And why don't people catch them anymore? Why it was almost like they fall through them. Like there was a big debate. I know we haven't got much time left, but there was a big debate about AEW. I'm not sure if you watch any AEW, Keenan.
I watch it, not enough to be a
I'm
fan.
kind of like, if I watch it because my friends are in it, and then that I'll watch it for them, and that is it.
Yeah.
But there is a wrestler on there called Megan Bain, and she's this former supermodel. She's absolutely dog shit in the ring, right? And in the past 2 matches, she severely injured 2 people, right? But they still persist on having her in the ring. Now, I don't know about you, but in any job, you've got to work at it to get better. But if you're not good enough, they kind of done the same with this girl that they did with Jade Cargill. They showed her weaknesses too soon on live TV, right? I don't care if she's good looking. I don't care if she's got nice bosoms. I don't care. I care about her wrestling. She is a wrestler, right? And when she's in the ring, she should be safe, 100%, because you've got to protect the person you're dancing with. And if you're not, you get injured. And like I say, she's injured 2 people badly, right? And it's got to the point now where I'm like, any old Tom, Dick, and Harry can just be put on TV. Doesn't matter how much experience you have or anything on the indies, but there's wrestling and there's TV wrestling.
Right. She make a fantastic valet, but we can't have valets anymore. I mean, and AEW, like I believe the charge for AEW is that they don't put on enough like matches or like enough shows for it to be a good like for a new wrestler. Like it almost takes somebody that's already been in the business and knows their sport and knows what to do. Somebody new needs to be in something like a WWE where they can constantly be working. AEW just doesn't put on enough matches, I don't think.
I don't think AEW's been on a roll for a long time.
They're unfortunately gonna, but it's good for the business because people have someplace else to go. They're not just stuck with WWE. They do have, and it's somebody like with Jade Cargill, we even noticed if it wasn't for AEW. Like I don't think WWE because she's dog shit, like you said. They would have looked at her and been like, "Oh, she's beautiful, she's big, but she's crap."
But then if that was the case, then why would they sign her?
Because then they see like, okay, she's got some name to her. We can put a little bit of training to her, give her a little bit of knowledge, and make her better. Might be the same they think with her. What, are you ready for me to go?
No,
Oh, much.
do I have a cough drop?
I just saw you have a cough drop.
Yeah, but where's the
We don't
root
have
bag?
cherry ones.
But I just saw one more.
Well, where's it at, Ken?
I yelled it.
Okay, well then it's gone. All right, well I guess that is the end of our show. Since my son gives me grief, I guess we gotta call it.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, you're a dad, dude. You know how it is. And summertime, unfortunately, he is right here with me all day, every day during the summer.
That's all good, man.
His mom's at work, and he's right here with me, dude. Right here with me.
Like I said, my two are upstairs, so it's all good.
Right, you're late at night. See, that's the nice thing being on the opposite side of the world, man. I'm in the middle of the day. Your kids are asleep. You put them to sleep. I see them pumped it.
Mate, it's 9:30 at night now, and I've got to get up in 3 and a bit hours to do a live stream to SmackDown.
Oh yeah, SmackDown's coming up, dude. Yeah, so I mean, you go take your small nap and get ready for SmackDown, man.
Absolutely, man.
All right, man. Well, this is another good show. I'm gonna cut us off real quick. Sorry we didn't get to y'all's comments, but nobody said anything worth repeating.